camera?
No, I'm holding it. If I don't
Okay.
hold it, it'll fall over.
Gotcha. I thought it was a tripod.
It is, but it's an odd angle.
Maybe I can
Oh,
hold it and you
gotcha.
can just
Gotcha.
peek around because I got to
Yep.
tell them that you're here.
Okay.
Well, and it takes a few minutes for people to log on.
That's true.
So it just, like in my ear, it just said we went live, even though we went live 20 seconds ago.
Okay.
Oh, we did.
Okay, girls. So I'd like to introduce you to Karen McBrayer and Carolyn Gavernich. And what town are you guys from?
Auburn.
Auburn.
Okay. Are you not a little tiny, like there's lots of little tiny towns around there. You're both from Auburn?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Which is actually a beautiful town in California. My grandparents had a house in Grass Valley. So out at Lake of the Pines. So we used to go there quite often. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Sandy. Welcome. So for those of you who don't know, we have Carolyn Gavernich and Karen McBrayer doing the filming, and they're going to demo a pumpkin. And I think it has something to do with toilet paper, but super easy and quick. So you guys can decorate for fall. I do kind of, before you get started, Carolyn, I do want to remind everybody, mark your calendar for December, not December, take that all back, for November, this Wednesday, November 10th at 5 o'clock, we're going to be doing a sip and sale for finished samples. So sample spree, we're going to have a lot of fun. Get your jammies on, get your favorite beverage. We are going to be having giveaways also. So it should be a fun evening. So that's this Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Okay, Carolyn, sorry, I just had to get that little commercial in really quick.
No problem. Hi, everybody.
All right, so I'm going to make you big on the screen, Carolyn, so you can show us what you are going to be showing us with the pumpkins.
Okay.
Maybe. If I'm, yeah. Okay, there you go.
Like that says, we're not always all that technical, so hopefully this all goes smoothly. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, when I was at our quilt camp last month up at Zephyr Point, Karen was there also, and she showed us how to make these really cute fall pumpkins. There's no sewing, there's no gluing. Takes about 5 minutes, if that, to make one. And this is one of them. This one is made with flannel, and I will tell you more about this and show you how these go together. You can use flannel or you can use cotton. You can really use any fabric. So those of you that are so creative, I know Anne likes bling, so I'm sure Anne would be using something really blingy and glitzy. So go for it. And the base of the pumpkin, believe it or not, is this toilet paper roll. Would you ever have guessed, right? So all you need is a toilet paper roll, and you need a square of fabric. Now, the size of the square of fabric depends on the size of your toilet paper roll. So for instance, this is a mega roll. So for a mega roll, if you want to write this down, or if you watch it later, you'll see it again, you'll need about a 20-inch square of fabric. Now for a regular size roll, which I think it's hard to find the regular size rolls, there's so many mega rolls now, but for a regular roll, you would need about an 18-inch square of fabric. Then you will also need something for a stem. And you have some choices with a stem. You could use a cork. What I've done, and what a lot of people do, is just go out in your backyard and find a piece of bark or find a tree twig, so it looks a little more natural. You can also embellish it with some ribbon. You can embellish it with some leaves. And what I have used is leaves from the dollar store. I buy the vine of leaves and I just cut them off and then stick those in the middle. Or you could use or make, what Beth has showed us, you can make some double-sided leaves and use those in your pumpkin. So the sky's the limit. You can use just about anything to embellish. So let's get started and I'll show you how simple this is. So I'm actually going to use a Christmas fabric. And this is my Christmas fabric. It's just a green and white decorative thing. Okay, now you're gonna have to point it down. She's gonna point the camera or tilt it down. Tilt.
Better.
Okay, I hope everybody can see that. So you're gonna lay down your square fabric with the wrong side facing up. You're going to take your toilet paper roll. Now, you can do this one of two ways, okay? Karen showed us when she demoed this at camp to unwrap it about 10 times.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, and the reason you do this is to give the pumpkin a little shape so it's not so stark, I guess, whatever. And so you just kind of rewrap it around loosely. Doesn't have to be perfect because nothing in nature is perfect. So you just wrap it around loosely. Now there's another way you can do this, I found out, because I started watching other YouTube videos, which you can find on making toilet paper pumpkins, and there are different ways of going about it. Some people use batting instead of unraveling the toilet paper. And then somebody else used a plastic bag and put the pumpkin inside of, or put the roll inside a plastic bag, which also works. So now what you're going to do, let's see here.
Center it.
Okay. And make sure it's as centered as you can get it. Then you're going to take a corner, bring it up into the hole, and gradually just go around folding the fabric, bringing it into the hole until you get all of it in there, little by little. And you can kind of play with it, fluff it, do whatever you want to get the shape that you want until you get all of it inside the hole, like so. Okay. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it all in there. Now you're going to take whatever you're going to use for your stem. And I'm going to use this twig that I found in my yard this morning. And I'm going to just poke it in the hole like that. No glue. You don't have to glue it or anything. Just poke it in there. And then, where did I put my leaf? And I'm not going to put all the leaves in there, but I know what I have. From the Dollar Tree, I found these little, I don't know what you call them, little berries, I guess, on a vine. And I cut a part off. And what I did was I wrapped it around a pencil so that it's kind of a curly Q. So you can put that inside there like that. And then put your leaf in there. And you're done. That's it. That's your pumpkin. Now, just some other little tips, what you can do. Obviously, you can make these for any season of the year. You can make them to match your decor, whatever you want to do. That's okay. We have a little issue. That's okay. Right. It's no problem. Anyway, what I would do so that you're ready for every season is whatever size toilet paper roll you're going to use, go ahead and pre-cut some fabric. So I pre-cut these. I pre-cut some more fall fabric and put it in a bag and just put it in your closet so that now when Thanksgiving is over, I will just change out the fabric, which is a good reason why you don't want to glue or sew anything so that you can interchange these. So you have fabric for the whole year. Now that would be a really nice gift if you gave somebody a roll of toilet paper, all the fabric for say Christmas, New Year, the main holidays, I guess, and put it all together as a gift for a good friend or somebody in your family. I think that would be a really fun idea. So that is basically what you do. I'm just looking to see if I have any other notes that I wanted to bring up. I think
And
that's
Carolyn,
yeah.
Mary wants to know what size square of fabric to cut.
Okay. If you have a regular size roll of toilet paper, you would cut an 18-inch square. If you have a mega roll of toilet paper, you'd cut a 20-inch square.
Perfect. And this is honestly, this is like the gift to give this year because toilet paper is sometimes a little bit hard to find. We all know that.
Right.
And
Right.
like at the shop, we hide the toilet paper. We don't leave the extra rolls inside the bathroom. We lock them up. And so,
Good idea.
This is kind of a good idea of how to disguise it. So when people come over to your house for dinner, they're not stealing your toilet paper.
Exactly. So the thing is, when you're done decorating with this, if you're really desperate and you forgot to buy toilet paper, at least you'll have one roll until you can get to the store.
Right. Right.
So
you never have too much.
Good hostess gift.
A good hostess gift. Yes.
Perfect. That would be a perfect hostess gift to give, especially if you're going somewhere for Thanksgiving. And you could take a couple of them for everybody that's going to be there, not just the hostess.
Right. And the other thing, you can just make one to set, on your table. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 3. I'm going to do 3 different sizes and put them in a little grouping. So
Perfect.
You can do all kinds of things. Use your creativity. You people are also creative. I know you'll come up with fun things to do.
Well, everybody is a lot more creative than they give themselves credit for. That is a true statement. Yeah.
Exactly. So
you could definitely use a fat quarter, Dorothy. It would just be more to stuff into the hole, I think.
For the 18-inch roll, you can. For the mega roll, it would be it wouldn't work.
It would be too small on one side.
Yeah, because a fat quarter is only 18 inches, 18 by 22, I think. So you couldn't use it on a mega roll.
If you do the 18, a yard works for 4 of them.
Oh, Karen said if you use a yard, you can get 4
18s.
4 18-inch ones.
Okay, so don't buy the mega roll of toilet paper, okay, girls, and then you're covered.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and that's also such a quick and easy thing to make up that you could just have them. I remember I used to go visit a little old lady, and every time I went, she had some like a basket next to the front door, and as you were leaving, she'd give you something. And that's like a perfect gift to give people that just stop by randomly to visit. I know that doesn't happen so much anymore, but it could. Yeah. It could. Yeah.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, girls, do you have any other questions for Carolyn and Karen? This, girls, is the problems. Don't ever let me know that you know something because I'll have you demo it.
That's right.
Christy says, great job, Carolyn.
Thanks,
all
Christy.
Right. Okay, do you have anything else you two want to add?
Well, everybody go and make a pumpkin. You've probably all got the supplies, so I'm sure it would be easy.
Hopefully toilet paper.
Go for it.
Perfect. Mary Beatty says, do you think Devin would want one? Because Devin just dropped off her bag. And Mary, you might need to get a bag of candy or something for Devin when he stops in to visit. Yeah, that's a tough one. 18-year-olds, although you could definitely use a roll of toilet paper. But yeah, I don't know, Mary. I don't know. That's a tough one. All right. Thank you, Carolyn, so much.
Sure. Thanks, Beth.
For filming. And girls, anytime you think of anything good, the ladies are always looking for quick, fun projects. All right. Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Okay. Thanks, Beth.
Okay, girls, and gentlemen, don't go very far. We are going to flip the camera around. I've got a couple of other things to demo for you. Also, I want to remind you, here, you want to switch, Roger? I want to remind you that we have, hey, Rondi, how are you? So Christy said to remind you, so this Wednesday, November 10th at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Here, let me flip me.
I'm just going to ask you.
Okay, hang on a second, girls. Oh, don't pay attention to the mess. I know clutter is a distraction.
I'm going to open this on your.
Okay, so this Wednesday at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Get comfy, get in your jammies, maybe throw some dinner in the crock pot because you don't want to be distracted. We're going to have quite a few items on sale that we're going to do just like we do our Friday celebration, but we're not doing it on Friday because we'll be packing and getting ready for a show that we're doing up in Puyallup, Washington. But we want you to share. And if we reach 60 viewers on our Wednesday pop-up sale, we're going to be giving away this kit. It's got a $100 value. It's by Moda Home Sweet Home Deb Strain. So if we get, oops, the glare, can you get it now?
Yeah.
So here is the kit that we're going to be giving away if we reach 60 viewers, 50 inches by 66 inches. We will have other giveaways. We will be doing the sale a little bit differently, but we're not sure of the logistics, so we don't want to let that slip out. But it'll be fun and entertaining. At least we think it will. Mary Beatty says, "Hey, Roger. Roger's looking good. Hi, Roger."
Hi, ladies.
Okay, so you're gonna have to probably take it off the tripod and follow me. Oh, you tied up the cord. I left the cord untied so it would reach over there because I forgot to plug it in. Sorry, girls. It's so hard to remember everything. So I have a couple of demos for you. One is I just wanted to show again. Let me grab this sample real quick. Because a lot of you are doing the diamond art, but then you don't know what to do with it. So, because I mean, you only have so many walls to put frames on. So, but the diamond art is super relaxing, and we tend to be doing more and more of it in the evenings. So you actually can sew into the plastic. So I want to show you here. I did an upholstery, like a thicker fabric, and I just zigzagged the trim right on top of there. This was kind of the first one I experimented with, but you can totally make a pillow with it, but don't shove your pillow into your totes when you're packing, or all of your gems are going to fall off because we shoved it in. Like as soon as I shoved it in, I knew I had done the wrong thing. So I've got to fix this pillow. But Anna made me a new sample, so I want to show you. And it's kind of a death trap over here, Roger. So look at Roger tied up the cord so nice and neat. Hang on a second. Tell him a joke, Roger. Somebody's knocking at the front door.
I don't know a joke, ladies. I don't know. Just
All right. We're just in the middle of the live, so holler if you have any questions. Oh my goodness, girls. The phone can just go to voicemail. Okay, so let's see. Wait. Okay, keep sharing, girls. Keep sharing. We want to get to 60. Tell your guild 60 viewers and the kit will be given away. True story. Okay. All right, let me see. Where did I go? Be careful. Oh, it's totally like a death trap in here because we have all the bolts from Friday sales. We're still trying to get everybody's orders ready, cut and processed. So it's kind of a death trap. So be careful, Roger. So I just wanted to show you. Anna made this sample for me. I don't know if you can get in close enough. So Anna made this sample for me here, and I didn't want to stitch on the beads. So the first time I cut the size sashing I wanted, but there was no way to sew it and turn it. So what I did is I just basically made a flange. I cut a 3-inch strip, ironed it in half, and then the folded edge, I butted up against the beads. And then I moved my needle to the left-hand position So I moved my needle all the way to the left, and then I just stitched down, but it's on the folded edge so that I won't have a raw edge. So there it is. I've sewn right onto the plastic. See that? So I can show you if you girls need to see that. I've got the needle in the furthest left position. I don't know if Roger can hop over all the fabric. So I've got, here's my binding or my sashing, and then I ironed it in half. Uh-oh, Roger's bleeding. He got attacked by a pin, a P-I-N, not a P-E-N. So here's my folded edge here. I know this is, whoa, be careful. So I'm just going to line this up here, and I've got my needle in the most left position. So I'm just going to start a little ways back. And remember, I'm just kind of experimenting with this. So I've just got the folded edge butted up right to the beads. And then when I hit, I hit a bead. When I hit a bead, it snaps the thread. I probably need a thicker thread as opposed to the, right now I'm using Deco Bob, but you get the idea. So that's what I did. It always never works when you girls are watching. So it just sucked my top thread in down. Once I get my new machine up and running, I don't think I'll have these problems. And I know if I try to thread my needle with you girls watching, it's not going to work. Okay, here, I'm going to try it. And my eyes are getting old. I remember my girlfriends used to say, oh, I never sew on with black thread in the evenings. And I thought, oh, that's so ridiculous. Like, just put on more lighting. But even more lighting doesn't really help. But I think I am going to have to break down and start using my needle threader. It's so sad. Okay.
I've called 911. I'm bleeding.
Uh-oh. Roger's bleeding. Oops. Okay, well, I can't thread it. Okay, here, I'm going to put on my light from my phone. Oh, look at that. I actually have extra lights for my machines, but we are always putting them up and taking them down that I don't know. I lose all the parts and the cords and things. Okay, look at what a little bit of light can do. Okay, so girls, I've got the folded edge here. Hopefully this is going to work without me hitting a bead. And I'm just going to sew a tiny bit just so you get the idea. But it actually, if this machine that's really old, and it was a cheap machine to begin with, can sew, any of yours can sew. But I think I just hit a bead again. Okay, so see here, you can see the stitching here, and you can see that it's attached. So that's what it's going to look like. And then I'm going to sew on a kind of a rainbowy border. So I'll have that to show you next Monday. Well, if I'm not, I might be traveling next Monday, but maybe I'll just show you the finished project from wherever I am on the road. So that is this fun little girl. And Anna had all kinds of good ideas. You can give it to a teenager. You can give it to them for Christmas and let them do the beads themselves, or you could do the beads for them. But it's kind of a cute girls, kind of a Paris-y feel. It'd be cute in a bathroom also. But so that's that. If you have any questions about the diamond art, let me know. A zipper foot probably would work, Lynn. I've never actually used a zipper foot, and I actually don't even know what my zipper foot looks like. But I hear that they're great for that. The beads don't always want to stay on. I think that I probably finished it at a show, Sherry. So I probably did not spray on that fixative. So you're supposed to spray on this. Let me climb over. Wait, don't move because I need you to stay there. there's a spray. Let me see if I can find it. That's supposed to hold them in place. I don't know where my spray. Oh, here. So there's this acrylic spray, and you can get the glossy finish or the matte finish. I think the glossy finish is better for the beads because it's going to have more of a shine. But this spray is supposed to hold the beads on, fix them on. And you can get this at Napa Auto Parts or at Michael's. Okay, let's see. I'm almost done with the flag quilt kit I got from you. I'll share it later this week. Perfect. We'd love to see it. We always love show and tell. Okay, and then the other thing I wanted to show you. So Sherry, I can almost guarantee you that I skipped this step because I didn't think it was that important. But at this point, now that I've shoved that pillow, and when I shoved it into the tub, like in my head, I was like, oh, I should probably be more gentle with this. And then I shoved it in anyways because I had this little like 4-inch spot, even though the pillow was like 6 inches wide. So anyways, okay, so here is the poppies that I've been telling you guys about. So here is the thread painting. Roger's gonna have to get up really close, even though he doesn't want to try to trip over all the bolts. Here we go. Want me to film it? You should come in on the weekend so we can get these orders done.
Go ahead.
Okay, so here is a double-sided leaf. Carolyn showed you a pumpkin-shaped double-sided leaf. So all it is 2 pieces of fabric and fusible in between. So what I did is I traced this leaf right here, and you just have to do a rough trace. I traced that leaf, and then I stitched it, and I sprayed it with Material Magic to make it stiff. So I can just sew it on here. I'll probably just sew it kind of right down the middle, and then leave the top loose to give it that dimensional artsy look. But I could throw it over here. I could put it anywhere. A lot of times I like them hanging off the edge of my quilts. So I could just like throw it on here as just an additional leaf. But what you need to do if you want to do a double-sided leaf is take your Steam-A-Seam 2 light. That's my favorite. And a Sharpie pen. I don't like black Sharpie pens for this because if I don't cut off all of the black, I don't want it showing through a light fabric. So usually I use like a light blue or a peach Sharpie. And then I'm just going to do this simple one right here. So, and also just so you know, when I use Steam-A-Seam 2 light, I always trace right on the sticky side. So a lot of people will trace on the gridded side. But if you trace on the gridded side, you have to know if your pattern's reversed or not. So in this case, it doesn't really matter because we're making a leaf and the leaf could be going any which way. But if you're following a pattern, then you always have to make sure that the pattern pieces are reversed or whatnot. So I know if I trace on the sticky side of my Steam-A-Seam, it's going to go the exact way that I'm tracing. So there's no guessing about what way to trace. So I always trace on the sticky side of my Steam-A-Seam. So I'm just going to hold this down here and you can see through your Steam-A-Seam. So I'm just going to kind of rough draw here. Doesn't have to be, it's a leaf. Leaves are very forgiving. So I'm just going to draw right down here. And then I'm going to take my really fancy scissors that probably came from who knows where and cut here. And I'm going to cut it pretty close and accurate. And then, oops, my iron probably went off from all the talking. But while we heat that up, I'm going to show you I've done some thread stitching in here to give it some texture. And then I've done some thread stitching here with that 20 weight metallic threads. And then here I've got just some Texture Magic and loose pieces that I cut off another project, probably from this tree. So this was a tree trunk at one point, but I save all my leftovers so that I can use them for these kinds of random things. So I'm going to iron this onto the wrong side of my fabric. Oops, my cord doesn't want to move. So I'm going to iron that right onto the wrong side. Do not iron your steam seam onto the right side of your fabric or you will cry. Okay. And then I'm going to cut it out again. And if you can't really see where your line was, oops, my iron's not that hot yet. You can peel off the paper. Here, let me iron it again. Okay, hopefully the iron gets hot. I talk too much and then it turns itself off. Okay, so I'm going to cut this here. You want to cut it exact so that you know. Oh, I know, I was going to give you this little tip here. So if you take your paper off, then you can see your blue lines better in case you couldn't see them, but then you have to touch the sticky stuff. But that doesn't really bug me if I can't really see my lines. Someday in a place like this, you'll be able to get your hands on a pair of good scissors. I think probably my good scissors have been hijacked. Okay, so then I used another green that's very similar, but just a shade lighter so that I could get some shading. And then I'm just going to iron that onto there. The reason that you want it cut accurately is because once you put the second fabric, you can't see it. Okay. Are you ready to check out or are you doing all right? Okay. And then I switched to sew the black on. I switched to a straight foot. So what you really want is your free motion foot. So like for us, we don't even bother putting this foot away because we tend to use our free motion foot more than our straight foot. So this just gets put right on here. So make sure you have a free motion foot because you will use it all the time. And most machines do come with it. I actually have several because I tend to sew too fast and I break them. Okay, so then I'm going to thread my machine and I've got a 30 weight variegated in the machine right now. It's a wonderful thread. It's also one that I use for making pine needles. It's kind of a wintry green color. And in a perfect world, I would have a green bobbin too, but I don't. But here's what a pine needle looks like when we make pine needles. That's kind of what a pine needle looks like. And you just stitch those right onto your projects. So I've left this fabric. I left the big fabric on there because you don't want to make it too small because we're going to sew real close to the edge. And if you make it too small, your throat plate will eat your fabric. So I've got this down here and I'm just going to pull up my bobbin thread. I always like to pull up my bobbin thread. Otherwise you get a nest underneath. And then when you free motion quilt, remember you have to move your fabric. I think that we might have the wrong bobbin in and that's why we're having issues. But so if I don't move my fabric, it's just going to sew in the same spot. So you are in control. Your feed dogs are not feeding your fabric through. So if you go really fast, you might take small stitches. If you go really slow, you might take big stitches. So that just comes with practice, what size stitch you want. And then you can just kind of go random, willy-nilly. You're just adding texture. And you can go slower. Sometimes I'll go over it a couple of times because I don't like it just being so much of the light green. So I want to get some dark green in there. So I might go over a second time. So that's kind of what that looks like. And then I would cut these out. I'd like to say these are perfect scissors here I've just found, except for that they went with us to a show and got all rusted up with the cleaning fluid. So I'm just going to cut this around the outside edge. And then I'm going to, do you have any comments, Roger?
I can't tell.
Okay. So I'm just going to cut this really close because I want to be able to get both fabrics there. And then I'm going to cut these strings off. And then for me, this is what it looks like right now. But that's kind of a flat. So I'm going to crinkle it up. But that's still not going to be stiff enough for my preference. So I'm going to take and I'm going to spray it. I have Material Magic in this little Best Press bottle. I have Material Magic. So I'm just going to get that wet and kind of make sure it goes through both layers so that it's going to be stiff. And then I'm going to crinkle it up because I want it to look more like a real leaf. So I'm going to crinkle it up and I'm going to let it dry. So that's where you get, that's why this one is kind of all, this is the one that I already did in advance. And that's why you get such good shape because it's got the Material Magic to keep it hard. Okay, let me see. Roger can't see if there's any if you guys have any questions. Okay, I think you guys got it. I've shown this before, so I think that kind of explains it. So pretty soon I'm going to be cutting these out. I'm going to cut these poppies out and I'm going to put them onto different projects. So one of these I'm going to put onto a jean jacket, and then one of them we're just going to quilt for a small wall hanging. One of them we're going to put onto a canvas just to give you guys different ideas of what you can do with all the panels that are out, because there are so many panels out that the artwork is already really beautiful. You just want to add your creative touch. So here is another one, a fall one that we've done. And in here, you can see that it's scrunched, and that's because we used Fabric Magic back here. And when you iron Fabric Magic, it will shrink up your fabric about 30%. So that's why the basket here, the barrel, is crinkly. So that's another fun idea for different ways to do panels and put your own twist on the panels. And then I've been saving different things. I've just been throwing them in a bucket. So I'll probably add some of these leaves and this trim to whatever I do with the poppy in its finished state. I just have to get a little bit further in all the thread painting. So when I'm really ready to start doing some kind of a design, all the homework is done in advance. So that's it. So if there's no more questions, Roger, if you want to scroll, we do have, and remember, ladies, keep sharing. I do have one lucky winner today, so we'll throw this in your basket. Here's all your baskets that are sort of ready to ship, but not actually, but from last Friday's sale. So we have one lucky winner is going to get a finished apron for Thanksgiving. So Roger, if you want to just scroll and pick somebody, which is the liquid fabric or Material Magic. So it's very confusing, Sandy, because Material Magic and Fabric Magic. So Fabric Magic is the stabilizer that shrinks your product once you stitch. It shrinks your fabric about 30%. Material Magic is the kind of like a starch, but on steroids. So that's what you would spray to make your project stiffer. You can use Material Magic in place of stabilizers. So a lot of people who do machine embroidery are using the Material Magic so they don't have to use a tearaway stabilizer.
Sandy Cohen.
Okay, Sandy, you're the winner of the apron. I will put that in your basket. I know you have one here. As soon as I find it, I will put it in your basket. All right, girls, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Grab a drink, grab your jammies, grab a friend. We're going to have a fun evening. All right, see you girls Wednesday at 5. Bye.